Hello, my name is Maribel Perez, and I am here with Jazzmin Pérez. This is a video for my class, Counseling Diverse Populations. Jasmine, this video is only used for educational purposes. Do you agree with it?
Yes.
Okay. So let's begin. Jasmine, you contacted me because you felt that you don't fit into your
Black family.
into your black side of your family.
Mm-hmm.
You are mixed. You said you're mixed with Hispanic and
Mm-hmm.
African American, or Mexican. I'm sorry, Mexican. So tell me a little bit why do you feel you don't fit into your black side of the family or African American side of the family?
Because they don't do nothing for me.
They don't do nothing
No.
for you. Can you elaborate a little bit? Like talk a little bit more about it. Do you go to their family functions and things like
No,
that?
because nobody gets along with each other.
No. How does that make you feel knowing that side of the family doesn't get along?
Kind of sad.
So your other side of the family, they get along well?
Mhm.
So when you go to family functions, what is the difference with one side as opposed to the other side?
On the Mexican side, they don't judge. They all get along, and then the black side, they judge and all types of stuff.
Okay. So when you say your other side of your family judges, what do you mean by that? What are some of the things that they judge, the other family members on?
On what you have.
So like job, money, cars.
Mhm.
So out of your so do you for yourself, do you connect more with being a Mexican or Hispanic or being an African American?
Mexican.
You connect more with being a Mexican?
Mhm.
Why do you say you connect more with being a Mexican?
Explain that.
Is it more like the culture? Because each side has different cultures. So do you connect more with your Mexican culture or your African American culture? Your Mexican culture. What is it that you like about your Mexican culture?
I like the parties. I love spending time with my grandma.
And do you do a lot of that?
Yes.
Do you spend any time with your other grandmother? No.
I don't feel comfortable.
You don't feel comfortable? Why don't you feel comfortable spending time with her as you do with your other grandmother?
I did grow up with her, but I don't know.
You don't know? Is she different from your other grandmother? Do they show love in different ways? How do they show love in different ways?
I don't know.
Okay. Now at school, because you did say in your initial intake survey, you said sometimes you feel confused on who you are as far as being a Mexican or an African American. Your friends, are they African or African American or Mexican?
African American.
They are African American. So as far as the friends go, you're okay with them being African American, but in your personal home life, you're more into your Mexican culture. Is there Is there something that happened, growing up or something to that nature that made you not feel connected to your African American family?
No, they just really wasn't there for me.
You feel like they weren't really there for you? And with you saying you feel like they weren't really there for you, how would you have wanted them to be there for you?
Just show me their love, that's it.
Show you love?
Mm-hmm. Well, when I am around them, I show my fakeness.
What do you mean your fakeness?
Like, I like them, but I really don't fool with them.
So, but you do love them?
I mean, a little bit, but not as much as I love my Mexican family.
Have your parents talked to you about how important loving both sides are?
Yeah.
And how do you feel about that?
Still don't change nothing.
It still doesn't change anything? How old are you? You're 17, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you're starting to form your own opinions and, on how you feel about people and things like that, no matter what your mother or father say? So on your African American side of your family, which family member do you connect more with? Or which family would you say you love more?
Mexican.
Uh,
Well,
On your other, not your Mexican side, but your other side.
My dad's sister.
Your dad's sister?
Mm-hmm.
So why do you feel you have more love for her than you do the rest of the family?
Because she actually tells me how it is, and she don't beat around the bush.
So I'm trying to get a better understanding of what kind of family dynamic the other side of your family has. You said the Mexican side is loving and caring and all that stuff. So is your other side of your family loving and caring also, or are they just kind of distant from each other?
Distance.
So do they have family get-togethers?
Well, they do, but one person will show up.
So back to Tasha. She doesn't beat around the bush, and she tells you, the truth of or whatever. So she wants the well-being for you. What's best for you. What about your grandmother? Is she the same way?
She fake.
Is she fake?
Yeah.
Why do you think she's fake? Or what makes you form that opinion that she's fake?
I don't know. I just feel like she fake.
You just feel like she's fake? So okay, you did say that your friends at school are African, or your friends are African American. How do they take to you being half Mexican, or do they see you as the same?
The same.
The same. So, in your initial intake form, you contacted me because you felt you were confused on who you were, you know, as far as your African American and Hispanic or Mexican side. But you really haven't elaborated on that. You've been talking more about, you know, you don't feel connected to your other family. What are some ways that you think you could change to connect with your family?
Maybe if we have get-togethers and do it the right way.
Now, when you say the right way, what do you mean by that?
Without somebody complaining about how it goes. And
So is there somebody always taking over it, or okay. So how does the family feel about that one person always taking over
it killed their vibe, and everybody ready to go home.
and everybody's ready to go home? So I understand, you know, you're 17, so are you vocal in how you feel about that with your parents? And what do they think about it?
They think I should love both sides equal.
And how do you take to that when they tell you that?
I'm still gonna love the other side more.
Your Mexican side.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So you said, you know, if they had to get together, they could do it the right way without one person complaining or without one person taking over it. And what are some other ways that you could do to maybe, you know, get more comfortable with your other grandmother?
Sit down and have a talk with them.
Do you think she would be open to talking to you?
Probably not.
You don't think so?
Mm-hmm.
So does the other side of their family, do they express any emotions or feelings or anything like that? No? Do you think that maybe that's why you don't feel connected to them, because they don't show emotions like that? So kind of to summarize, you know, you came in because you said you were confused on who you are, but coming to find out it's a little bit more different than the initial, you know, conversation. It's more of you. So would you want to have a better relationship with your other family? Yes. And you said one step you could take is to talk to your other grandmother? Jazzmin, I hate our time is being cut short, but for your homework, if you could maybe contact your other grandmother and have that sit down talk with her and kind of express your feelings and emotions to her, and then on our next session we can kind of talk about how that went and, you know, other steps that you can take or, you know, do to be better connected to your other family, since you're not expressing it very much that that's what you want, but you said you wouldn't mind. So maybe those are some options we can explore, okay? Thank you so much, Jazzmin, for joining me today. Thank you, class. This concludes my video. And again, this is for educational purposes only. Everyone have a good day.